Alright, what we learned from Picks and Bans, Game 2 of VG versus OMG. So, coming out of these two team comps right here, I'm expecting the victor to be locked in. There we go. Alright, so, starting with pressure, VG is a similar comp that I believe OMG was playing. Oh no, they still have their Sivers. It's not entirely similar to what OMG had last game, but the big switch is the mid lane switch. So now OMG has more of the pressure and VG has more burst. This burst actually goes better with Sivir because they can get in there and do the burst without Azir able to get off too many attacks. But OMG also has Jinx, who is going to have almost equal range, a little bit shorter than Azir, but it's going to be an issue, I think. It's a big pressure advantage for OMG. And Shen, Elise, Braum, Maokai, Gragas, Alistar, that's not too much of a pressure. Those champions don't apply too much pressure. All of this Shen's going to help with different things. So engage. Elise, Shen, Braum, they all have some sort of range, or Shen doesn't, but Shen can go in with Elise from repel if they want, or he can go in with Azir, who just can you know, jump in with his minions and then ult them back and have Shen in the fight with them. So there's a lot of engage coming off from OMG right now. But what about VG? So Sivir's ultimate is very good for engaging. It pretty much boosts everything. It boosts the Maokai, the Alistar, and the Gragas. So it makes their somewhat not that great engage a lot better because they can actually run faster, and that's pretty important. That synergy between those heavy tanks and Sivir makes their engage actually really good versus OMG's engage, which is not, there's nothing exceptional there. So we're actually giving this to VG. So that's pretty cool. Poke and heal. Azir, Jinx. There's some okay poke there. Elise, Spider poke. Cocoon kinda, not really. Shen, nothing. Braum, his Q. So they have some okay poke. There's nothing that's gonna really kill people or like chalk you down massively, not kill people. Poke doesn't kill people. Sivir's Q, Victor's laser. Those actually will probably chunk and are easier to land, I think, than Azir and Jinx. That's pretty good. I want to give it to them. OMG doesn't really have any poke that's longer than anything VG has. Pick. VG has no pick, and this is different. Because last game they kinda, although they didn't have strong pick, they used that anti-stun around the map to get a lot of pressure. And now OMG has an Elise Cocoon, which I think that's gonna be a pretty big thing. So engage obligation is definitely on VG. It's mainly because of the Jinx and Azir. They can lay down their damage 700 to 800 range, where VG, they can burst at 700, but their auto attack is a little bit farther back. Sivir can project it with the bouncing blades, but it's not. It's more of a poke thing, not really a pressure thing. So VG is going to have to break the pressure, they're going to have to engage, but they have the tools to do it. So it's evening out there. The poke is actually stronger than the pick. So that's a bonus for VG. So it's kind of neutral in the pressure, but they definitely have the engage obligation. So OMG, the fight. So what we're seeing on OMG's comp here is they're gonna pressure them in, just kind of move forward, moving the minions up, using Jinx, exploding rockets, until leveling can get somebody, or even San till Elise or Braum can start hitting a primary target with an ability and laying down some CC. So it's going to be pressure into Elise or Braum CC. That's how they're going to start a fight, and they're looking to get the CC, of course, on Victor or Sivir. If they don't get it on Victor or Sivir, it's not really going to be too much, unless like Gragas is significantly farther away from Victor or Sivir, and then it's going to be like a pick on Gragas. So, that's pretty standard way to fight in general. They're just, and especially, I don't know, Uzi went pretty ham there before we get. It might be an issue if they do that, because Victor is just going to be able to kill anyone, unless of course they get ahead significantly. So I like OMG's fight. VG, they're just going to Sivir ult and then burst. This is so solid from VG. So they just need to ult with Sivir and then have Maokai, Gragas, and Alistar kind of just go ham. Ideally, you want to split them up between the carries, like who's more of a threat. Probably have Alistar zone 1 to Gragas, and Maokai try to lock one down, and just immediately follow up with Victor and Sivir. And even if Shen ults them, Victor and Sivir's damage, coupled on top of Alistar and Gragas, will be more than enough to kill anybody. I don't think they can really protect it. Braum can stop some of the poke and the Qs coming out to Sivir, so maybe that could make a difference. Braum could mess up their team fight. You'd kind of want to have somebody deal with that, or just remove them out from the fight, but it's not a big deal. And Alistar has an exhaust on VG, which is really good because they can actually, they can almost ignore one of the carries for at least the 2.5 seconds. It's still going to be doing damage, but he's the ultimate zoning tool right now. So, the win. VG without pick, without really a good way to catch people out like they were doing the majority of the early game and the last game, and OMG with this pick. I hate when games I feel like are going to be determined by pick, because it's really hard to predict which team's going to win if both the teams are really only relying on like their pick, because that's kind of like, you know, it's sort of random in how they get their like who's in a weird position. There's nothing that like guarantees it to happen. Good zone from Kwong here, as well as Mata to keep going. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with VG. Oh wait, no, Uzi. Uzi's actually gonna be strong enough. Just the Jinx pressure plus the Zero pressure. VG didn't have that last time. They only had a Zero pressure with Sivir. I'm gonna go with OMG. Going with the pressure, even though VG has a strong counter for it and the burst to counter it. This is actually, honestly, it's only 55% OMG. Because Uzi should be able to do enough work. That's what we're going with. That pressure.